Hey guys, welcome to Monday, starting all over again. Hey guys, so it is just after 12:30. The work has been going on and off. It's kind of been stop and go as I'm trying to build this ending. I decided to start taking the bits that I knew I wanted to happen. Like, I know that I want Chris and Kate to come to some kind of altercation, like two sides of a warring point of view. She's very firmly believes one side, he firmly believes the other, and it's basically a breaking point in the relationship. They will no longer have a relationship after this. So I started just writing out the points that I knew I wanted to hit, and then just kind of building the text out around them. It's, I don't know, kind of like building a snowball. Like, you have a kernel and then you just keep adding stuff to the outside, like at both ends, the beginning and the end. You just keep adding stuff to it, and eventually it grows into this small snippet of a scene. And then I'm doing that in other parts too, like with another little kernel of an idea I knew I wanted to have. And then I eventually join those together, and I don't know. You probably don't need to hear that kind of explanation, but it's growing. I decided that chapter 27 should be, it's 3 chapters. There's chapter 27, 28, and 29, and then the book is done. So we're definitely in the final stretch of the book. So I decided then was a good point to have that break of Chris and Kate before, the rest of the action happens and they defeat the monsters, etc., etc. I decided it kind of had to happen in a break of the monsters. So we're just kind of like, oh shit, now that's falling apart too, kind of feeling. So I'm building that. It's not done yet. So chapter 27 is not done, but it's moving in the right direction, which is nice to say. I still don't know how the story is going to end, but it is definitely moving. Chapter 27, at least, is moving in the direction I need it to move. And while these things are happening sooner than I had expected, because I thought these were going to happen maybe in 28, maybe even 29, I don't know, if it's better here, because then they get inside the house and then other things can happen, and that can all hopefully play nicely together. So that's where I am. It's coming along. I don't know if I can say that the chapter will hopefully be done tomorrow. I really, at this point, I just don't know. I'm just kind of going with it and trying to work as much as I can and trying not to get distracted by all the other shit I need to think about. I have a habit. I've been writing post-it notes of ideas that I need to do afterwards, and sometimes it's like dumb stuff, like buy Clorox wipes from Target, stuff like that, but also just ideas I know I want to try to hit later so I don't get distracted. I did have to take a brief detour back to Act 2 because I couldn't remember if I'd cut something out from a Tad chapter before or not, and it turns out I did cut it out, so it's a good thing I checked, because leaving a couple lines of text in chapter 27 wouldn't have made any sense because I had cut their earlier thread back in Act 2. So that worked out in my favor. Hey guys, so I have finally finished chapter 27. It has been a struggle all morning to get this to come together. I got all the kernels in place that I wanted to have, I built around them, I strung them together, and I think it works. I won't know until I take a break, come back and reread it. But at this moment, it feels okay. I'm okay with it. I have managed to move the story forward. And like I said, I hit all the points that I needed to hit to make this chapter work. The only problem is right now that the chapter is coming in just shy of 4,000 words, which is really long. And especially with my goal to cut down all these chapters, I just checked a couple of seconds ago, and my word count for the novel is back up to like 97,700 and change. So I'm back to the problem of being slightly over the goal. The goal is 90 to 95,000, and I'm definitely hitting above 95,000, and I still have to write chapter 28 and chapter 29. The epilogue is done, and I shouldn't have to touch that, so the word count there won't change too much, but there's another 2 chapters that still need to be written. There's a close of the story that still needs to happen. So there's that. That can only be fixed in the next stage. At this point, I'm beginning to wonder if I'm even going to have time to run through it very quickly one more time before I hand it off to the editor. It's just getting tight. That deadline is approaching really fast, and there's so much that still has to be done. And somehow I need to take a break from it because I wanted to participate next month in the NaNoWriMo. I don't know if that's going to happen, but that was my goal. I wanted to participate this year because it felt like this would coincide with the end of this one, and I could knock out the first draft of the next book I'm working on. And it's October 4th, and I'm not sure if I'm going to make it. That means I have to do... It means I have to do 2 more chapters over the course of the month and give it another read-through. That doesn't sound so bad. But there's only 3 weeks left in the month, and I still would have to plot out the next story, which I haven't finished yet. I've only plotted out the first act. I'm just not sure if I can do that. In any case, that is not something I need to concentrate on today, and until this story is done, my total focus has to be on finishing this novel. Hey guys, so it's at the end of my writing session on Wednesday. It is going on 1 o'clock, and I have to stop. I have other stuff I need to do today and no time to do them. Like, there's no time to squeeze them in anywhere else before I have to pick up the kids from school, so I have to stop writing now, and it kills me to say that. All morning I've been working on chapter 28, which is the second to last chapter in the novel, and I was left with 2.5 scenes that I have to finish before the chapter's done. One of them is mostly written, it just needs to be edited. The other 2 are in bits and pieces, and they need to be flushed out and then pulled together. And I wish I had enough time. I don't. And like I said, it's killing me that I can't finish chapter 28 because the end goal here is suddenly incredibly within reach. I have to finish chapter 28 and then I have to finish chapter 29 and woo, I'm done. I mean, I've been done with this 4 times before. Like, this is the 4th draft. The 4th and final draft, I might add. So once I'm done with these, I'm going to print the whole sucker out and I'm going to grab a red marker and I'm just going to read through it as a reader and try to pull out the bits that need to be fixed and hopefully then get those little bits done before I send it out to the editor at the end of the year. I know last week I was like, I don't think I can do this. I'm not sure if it's feasible. Maybe I shouldn't even be a writer at all, ? And suddenly things have turned around. It's going fast and I'm just struggling to keep up. But this end goal of having it finished in time is suddenly very much within reach. And that's exciting and terrifying and overwhelming and a whole host of emotions. So I'm going to go have some lunch and do what I need to do, and then I'm going to get back here tomorrow morning and crank out chapter 28 and start in chapter 29. And man, fingers crossed I can finish this before the end of the week. Wouldn't that be amazing? Hey guys, so it's at the end of my writing day on Thursday. It's not even noon yet, and somehow I have finished the novel. I don't quite know how it happened. I was finished chapter 28, no big deal. Like I said, there were 2.5 scenes left. I actually think finishing those 2.5 scenes, I spent longer on those than I did on chapter 29. Those 2.5 scenes kind of contained that question of how I was going to end the novel, so I spent more time just sitting and staring at the screen thinking about it than I did actually writing chapter 29, which is weird. I'm sure you just heard in the background, I am currently printing out the story so I can have this humongous block of 469 pages worth of text to cut down, and I think that's it for this week. I mean, it sounds crazy to say. I actually feel a little bit in shock about it. I'm not sure if it is done yet. I mean, does any writer ever know when their novel's finished? You'd think the easy answer would be yes, but chapter 29 just came together so quickly and kind of effortlessly, which that sounds like that would be a good thing, but it's a little worrying. Like, I have struggled to pull the rest of this out, and then just to have the end just kind of like fly out and be like, oh, I'm done. Feels like I didn't put enough effort into it, and I'm actually worried that it comes together too quickly, that there's not enough explanation on some things. It is a lot of action, so that action tends just to flow together, but I don't know, I worry. So I'm going to spend 24 hours not writing, not reading the book, and then I'm gonna take my red pen and I'm gonna start going through and, like, old school hard copy, pen on paper, go through it. So that's it for this week. I can't believe I'm saying that. I thought this novel would take until the end of this month to finish, and here I am. October 6th, I'm finished. And I'm kind of at the point like, what do I do with myself now? I know exactly what I need to do with myself, but I just kind of have that floundering feeling right now of whoa, this time was allotted to do something else and that's done, so what do I do with myself? Next on the agenda, like I said, is going through old school, but also I need to continue working on the outline for the next story, which I wanted to participate in NaNoWriMo, and hey, now I can, imagine that. So I'll be working on that. That actually might be one of the videos is going to be. I'm not sure. I haven't thought this far ahead because I had planned on working on this novel for at least the rest of this month, and now I need to rework all those plans.